Hello and welcome everybody. The first episode of Power Rants. I am your host, the real Power Ranger 541. And of course, all of you guys are my power crew. So let's begin. Alright. Today's rant is on the topic of MMPR, the movie remake / reboot. On this topic, or this multi-parter, if it is multiple parts, I'm going over the little review that IGN did, talking about how the movie might be very similar to Twilight. Divergence, Transformers, things like that. As well as superhero movies. Now, to kind of explain this, okay? They said that the movie, as I said, would be very similar to how Twilight had their love and romance, and be an action-adventure, be very much like a superhero movie, like Thor, and be like the Transformer type movies. Now, let me first off say this. They said they needed a new cast, they needed a new face, they needed to do things like all these other shows are doing right now. Now let me say this though. Unfortunately, the IGN people slipped up and said that the original one really didn't do this and was meant for kids. I'm sorry. Original MMPR was not meant for kids. It wasn't until halfway through the second season that Lord Zed even got toned down because he was that scary for kids / adults watching the freaking series. It was adults that said anything about it anyway that had them tone him down. Kids didn't mind that much. Adults did because some kids were having nightmares. Now, to explain this, the whole series already had action and adventure, had superhero type stuff, had Transformer type stuff, had a love and romance type deal. Already, before most things got underway for other top-notch series. MMPR already did this. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers did a lot of this stuff already. Let me just say this. MMPR felt kind of more like how you would have your whole soap opera type deal most of the time. Because you were just waiting for the two people you know of that are the most mischievous for the whole thing to try to mess up everybody else's life. With some 2-3 sentences about, oh, this happened when I was over there, and this, and start drama and everything. And really, that's kind of why you watched it. It was like, You watched it because you wanted to see what type of drama were the teens going to get into this time, and how are they going to deal with it. Now, for the most part, MMPR Season 1, 2, and 3 were very much similar. It was cut and dry. The main villain, or villains, pop up, say something, pick an item, make it into a monster. And that was it. Straight cut forward, that is how they had it for every single episode. And it worked great. Now, to point out certain things, people were talking about the Transformers movies, as I said, also Twilight, and the superhero movies. Now, I have recently looked up numbers and everything, and yes, superhero movies are doing extremely well. But let me also say this though. The superhero movies are doing well because it's hitting on the fact of what older fans love and what newer fans love. It's not just targeting towards newer people, like what IGN viewers were trying to hint at that the new movie should do. Should have newer people, should have newer romances, should have newer adventures, everything like that, and needs to be targeted towards newer people. And also older fans wanted to have a wide range, which, by the way, MMPR Season 1 had a wide range for adults and younger kids. And yes, even people that were too old to watch it, people that were 21 or older, still watched the show when the first season came out. It hit everybody. MMPR impacted all genres, all range of ages. People watched the show. People enjoyed the show of all ranges. So when IGN reviewers talked about the show and said that it needed to have a wider range of people, I think they don't understand that it already has a wide range of people. Just some people don't want to say they are a fan because they feel that the show is very kiddish or childish or things like that. And really, it's not. It's kind of why there weren't that many superhero fans back in the day, and there were so many comic books. There weren't really good movies. There weren't people that followed them. There weren't people that wanted to be a superhero back in the day because the superhero movies weren't doing well. But now they are. Well, they are in a sense that all Marvel superhero movies are doing well. DC ones aren't doing that well. But we'll get back to that later. Now, to hit on the fact that they thought it should be similar to Twilight. Now, I understand regarding the whole romance deal. Oh, let's have it go towards Jason and have it go towards Tommy or Austin and JDF or whatever. You know what I mean. The actual character names are Jason and Tommy, and their love romance over Kimberly. But the fact of the matter is that Kimberly cold-shouldered Jason in the beginning and was dating Tommy for just about all of the rest of Season 1, 2, and majority of 3, and then gave him the cold shoulder and left him to get back with Jason. And the fact of the matter is that they didn't seem to even hit up on this. There was no, oh, she was torn between them. No, it was written to be with him for this first part, cut him out of her life. She hooks up with this one, uses him as long as she can, goes back to the other man, and then eventually he ends up dumping her, if I am correct. Might be wrong. But that is basically their whole love romance in original MMPR. Now, trying to do it like what Twilight did, I think would not be an intelligent maneuver, because as far as I saw, it was nothing more than girl tries to do her best, tries to save everybody, always ends up getting the short end of the stick, always ends up getting abused, beaten, whatever. And it gets her nowhere until the last movie. And even then, though, it didn't make too big of a difference. And the whole, oh, we have this team and this team, really wasn't that big because you already knew who she was going to go with. Sorry. Same with the movie. If they ever do it with MMPR, you already know who she's going to be with anyway. She might be hitting on Jason in the beginning, and then guess what? She's with Tommy. Then later on, we'll go from Tommy to Jason, and then from Jason to whomever. So it's not really one of those, okay, this idea needs to be newer or different. It's reusing an old idea. Same with how the movie is going to be. It's going to be reusing a lot of old ideas, just in a new spotlight. Now, the way the Transformer movies are going, I actually do love them. But let me explain this. If it does anything like the Transformer fights have happened, with all the firework explosions, I might just have to punch myself in the face while watching the movie. Because if anything says kiddish, childish, and ergo lower budget, it's firework explosions. not dynamite, not TNT, not real explosions, just firework explosions. Yes, Michael Bay. Everybody's caught on to that, and nobody likes that. I like the scenes, but if you edited out those little explosions in the background that nobody needs to see, or doesn't even need to be there, I think it'd be better. Ergo, you also might save money off because you're buying so many fireworks out of the time when they need to be bought or sold. Now, the one other movie that they compared it to, or said it should be similar to, was Thor. As I said, a superhero movie. Superhero. Now, I understand that Power Rangers is very much like superheroes. I mean, that's why I said in the beginning anyway. It hit a lot of genres. It hit giant monsters, hit giant robots, hit superheroes, it hit everything. A lot of colors, all of that. Anything that could attract a kid back in the day, this is exactly what the series did. It said, here's all we have here. Do you like it? If you want it, watch it. And it did. Now, compared to what most people say about it, Power Rangers actually has more of a superhero type deal going with it than most newer superhero stuff. Because unlike how a lot of superheroes had comics, Power Rangers didn't. So you didn't know what was going to happen. So you had to watch each episode to see what they were going to do. So really, the whole superhero franchise, or people wanting to make superheroes like bigger, better, broader, it didn't happen until after Power Rangers anyway. So the fact of the matter is, say it needs to be more like a superhero movie is wrong because Power Rangers has already done this. Power Rangers has actually already hit on, as I said, all three of the genres they said that needs to be more like. And wide range-wise, it does have a wide range. Each episode affects more than just the regular range of people. Each episode from MMPR in particular, there's a specific one that hits more on love and romance and everything. One that hits more on giant monster fights. One that hits more on giant robots. I mean, literally, each episode is a different story. I mean, except for the Green Ranger arc, which was 5 episodes, but that's a whole different ordeal. But, yeah, literally, the fact that they said all this stuff about it tells me that they had not actually seen the show. Not really understand what the show was about. Ergo, I really think they need to start collecting information or reviewing the facts and articles about the show before opening their mouth. Now, I know this sounds very much like I'm hating on IGN. I am not. But the fact of the matter is that I get tired of it when I hear things from IGN, and they should be very informative. But they're about as informative as your local news, which isn't that informative. They show you this little bit of information, and that's all you get. IGN does not tell you jack. IGN does not really do much with information. Now, what I mean by this is, when I go to IGN and I find stuff for like Xbox One and that, and all you get is the same information 5 different times from a different person each time, it tells me that IGN really, really doesn't get that much information at all, or doesn't care to look up anything or dig deeper. Now, as I said, this will be a multi-part review rant, and I'm about done with the first episode right now. So, hopefully you guys come back for the second part, where I will continue my rant. I will see you next time, Power Crew. This is Power Striker 1, and I am signing out. May the power protect you.